What's up guys, Erasable Crab here. Welcome back to another video on the Automotive Channel. Today we're going to be going over this Hyper Tough. This is a 55 piece screwdriver set. 55 piece, but you really only get 21 screwdrivers, and that's if you include these. If you don't include these, you get like 15 real screwdrivers. So let's start with the flatheads. You get a 5/32 by 3 inch. All of them have the same handle design. Handle feels pretty smooth. It's not too big, it's not too small. Nice Hyper Tough logo that'll probably wear off over time, but I suppose we'll see. So that's one. Another flathead is a 3/16 by 4 inch. So this would be the next size up. You can see these don't have any type of like aggregate or like aggressive coating on the end. And they're not magnetic, but the set does come with a magnetizer and demagnetizer, so you can just stick this in here and then you can make it magnetic if you don't want it to be magnetic anymore. Boom. It's not magnetic anymore. This is the exact same one that comes in the little electronics repair kit. I have used this all the time, but that kit, it works tremendously. Hasn't really worn out. But yeah, all of them follow the same basic pattern. You do get stubbies, so here's the flathead stubby, 1/4 inch by 1.5 inch. Nice handle on this. This is nice, pretty much standard size stubby screwdriver. And then your final flathead is the super long 1/4 inch by 6 inch. Obviously this isn't a demolition screwdriver or anything, so I'm pretty sure the shank doesn't go all the way to the tip, which would be like there. But yeah, these have a really nice handle. It surprised me. This whole set's only about $15, and that's its normal price. If you can find it on sale, you can get it for even cheaper. But it's got like a textured rubber here, smooth rubber there, really aggressive grip there. This is just plastic, and then it goes back to the textured and the smooth on the other side. Plastic where the logo is, and that really aggressive if you really need to turn on it. But overall, I mean, for the price, I'm pretty surprised. It even comes with some Torx. You can see a T6 by 3 inch. And wow, that is super small. But I love having Torx screwdrivers because sometimes the sockets just don't tend to fit right. And when you have a Torx screwdriver like this, you can kind of force it into the fastener a little bit more, and you can get that grip that you need so you don't strip them out. So it's not something you're going to use all the time. The sockets are generally pretty good, but not always. So this one is a T8 by 3 inch. So a T6, a T8, and a T7, all by 3 inches. Nice handles. They're a little smaller, but these aren't really sizes you're going to be using too often. Again, if you have the sockets, definitely use them. They should be your first priority, really. And then we'll go to the Phillips, which they give you the most of. Phillips 0 by 3 inch. Obviously, not a ton of people are going to be using this. This is more meant for like electronics repair. But what I will tell you is if you're doing a lot of electronic repair like I used to at my job, you will appreciate having something with a full handle like this. If you are using this so much to the point where these little tiny handles get annoying because you got to get that nice grip on them, you know, they spin in your hand, it gets exhausting after a while. So having something like this is valuable to me. I do some electronic repairs on the side. Not something I'm really focused on making a channel about or anything. I don't do it too much. It's just something I do in my spare time if I absolutely need to. Here you have a Phillips number 1x4". Again, they all have this hole here, so you can put these on like a pegboard or some other kind of organizer as long as it has enough depth for it. And you can kind of see, I'm not really sure how much that is, but I don't know, there's about that much space. So it might not work with every type of organizer, but it's pretty simple. Here we have a Phillips 1x4". So this one is actually the same. So you get two of these. Oh, I see. So this is a Phillips 1x4". This one is actually, I believe, a JIS tip. You can see the difference in pattern. So that's nice that they include that. I didn't even realize that. So that makes sense why there's more Phillips heads than anything. Because again, you get a 2x4, just a regular Phillips head. And then there's also a number 2x4 and a JIS tip. Which, these JIS tips, sometimes they do get a better bite than a typical Phillips head. It's not something you run into often if, it really depends on the area you're living in. Like, I don't run into that often, but if you're working on, like, older Japanese cars, or even, I think, some of the newer ones, that type of tip has become a standard practice for some bolts, I do believe. So that is a really good thing that they include that. And I'm surprised that they even do. I was not expecting that. Here you have your biggest Phillips head. This is a 2x5". I like that they don't give you a Phillips 3 because you don't really need it. I don't run into Phillips 3s ever, but if for some reason you do, they do include it in the bits. You get a 1/4 inch, 3/16 inch, and 1/8 inch flatheads. Phillips 0, 1, 2, and 3. Square 1, square 2. An adapter, so that way you can take the sockets they include, which all of the sockets are SAE. But you can put, this is a 15-30 seconds. But yeah, and then you can use this ratcheting bit driver, which is always nice. Nice magnetic tip, fits in there pretty good. This thing in general is a bit bulky. It doesn't have the smoothest teeth, but it's not that big of a deal. This isn't gonna, I mean, it could be, but it generally isn't gonna be your main tool set. So yeah, it comes with the adapter, which is nice. You can see, I'm not gonna go over the sizes, but these do secure into place. I'm not missing this one. It just fell on the ground before I hit record because I didn't know you had to click these in there so they wouldn't fall out. I thought you just pressed them in, so that one fell out. Don't worry, I do have it. It's probably by my foot somewhere, but I don't feel like getting it right now. This whole setup's a little janky, but that should be sorted out soon. Here you have a bit extender, so you can use this in a drill, or if you just need a little extra extension, it gives you just that little bit more. While I forgot to talk about the last Phillips head, which is a 2 by 1.5 inch. Nice little stubby Phillips. This will help you with bumper screws especially, but you know, you've always got to have a set of stubbies. Sometimes that'll make a set worth it, even if you didn't think it was worth it beforehand. So we talked about those, we talked about those, talked about that already. Let's go over the other set of bits. T10, T15, T20, T25, T30. Then these are hex. You get 3/32, 1/8 inch, 5/32, 3/16, and 1/4 inch. So pretty much all the bits you're ever gonna need. I don't believe there is a metric socket rail. If there is, I've lost it and I'll have to find it. But I believe it only came with these sockets. It also came with these, like, I don't know, super fancy wrenches, or not even wrenches, these like super fancy screwdrivers. I don't know where you would really use these, especially with like a Phillips head or a flat head. I feel like you're gonna round out whatever fastener you're trying to use it on, and even then, why would they give you two of the exact same? This just kind of feels like they're trying to fill the numbers with this. It does have a nice grip. If you need it, it's there, but not something you're going to be using often, if ever. It's more filler. This one's subjective. I do use these every now and then. If it is, like I said, I do electronics repair, so it's usually the Phillips heads that I end up using, and sometimes I do run into it where I need a size that small. These feel okay. The heads don't really rotate the best, but they're okay. They come in the set. Not really a deal breaker that they do come in there to me. Again, the whole set's cheap enough. You have this option. You could go to Harbor Freight and get their like 22 piece, which has a lot of screwdrivers for your money, but that set, the texture on the top, it makes it kind of hard to read the sizes. I don't think I've done a video on that yet as of recording of this video, but in a future video I will end up doing that. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.